My name is Nicole Popowitz, Nicolepopowits. Oh, TZ. I already did it. I got nervous. I'll do that again. My name is Nicole Popowitz. I run the kitchen for Keewaydin Elementary. I also bartend part-time at a brewery. I love my job because I get to see the kids every day, all the amazing students that love to eat. Just seeing them not only enjoy the food and be satiated and ready to learn, but also being willing to try new foods. And we have this trusting relationship where when I make something and it's something they've never had before, I can usually convince them to take one bite, and I love it. We have a very reputable food program.
The apples are local, the oats that we use on the crumble are local, the chicken is local, all of it. So it's very exciting. It's once a month that we do Minnesota Thursday.
Happy Minnesota Thursday. We made this new wild rice pilaf today. But schools, including mine, we're so understaffed. If we continue having such gaps in our employment, in our staffing, that we're using this many temp workers and they're leaving because they can't afford to be here, they have to find something else that pays better, the whole system's gonna crumble. The corners have been cut for so long that now it's going to take a long time to get to a place where it feels fully supported. The students bear the burden of the underinvestment every single day. The students bear the burden first. The staff bear the burden second. Families bear the burden third. And then it just spreads out from there because then the community is suffering. Staffing would be way better if there was better pay and getting paid during breaks. Because if someone's gonna take a job and be told, oh, I'm sorry, there's gonna be 2 days in September and 3 days in October and 3 days in November and 2 weeks in December, that you're just not gonna be paid. Is that cool with you? Also, you're gonna be paid $17 an hour. You're not gonna get a fully staffed department with those numbers. I first wasn't in the union when I first started because I didn't know anything about it. And I was confused, but around the time that the teachers and ESPs their strike was rumbling, our union was also rumbling about lining up with them. So then I was like, okay, before I can't even vote unless I'm in the union. So that's when I joined and I started getting involved, and I joined the CAT team at the time. And then everything happened really fast, and we were like a day from going on the picket lines, and then we got a contract. So since then, I've stayed involved. I've tried to learn more. And now I actually just joined the bargaining committee for my union, which is very exciting. I know, I'm a little nervous, but it's gonna be great. Having this full-time job, plus my side job, plus joining the bargaining committee, that's a commitment at that point. It's a big commitment to join the bargaining committee. And as we get closer to our contract, it's more and more time I'm gonna have to spend doing that. And that's a lot, but I love my job. So I'm gonna keep fighting. I just wanna be at the table. I wanna be involved so that I can try to impact everybody around me as best I can. And I like to know what's going on. And the best way to do that is to be in the room.
It's not going to change itself. You have to participate in order to win. You have to be in it to win it,
Collective bargaining is the only reason I've gotten a raise in the almost 5 years I've worked here. And so if you're going to have any say in the matter, you have to be unionized. It was the only way.
Well, we've already won the free lunch program, which was a big, big win.
All Minnesota schools kids will soon receive free breakfast and lunch. That's because today, Governor Tim Walz signed the Universal School Meals Bill into law.
Free lunch for all students in Minnesota, that was such a fight. But we did it. Now we got it. And the ESP Bill of Rights that was partially passed last summer included unemployment benefits in the summertime, which is huge. But I know at least 3 people in schools nearby mine that are phenomenal at their job. They took it very seriously. They were very safe. All 3 of them are gone now because they needed to make more money. And they were huge assets to this department. Having the $25 an hour for all hourly school employees would be huge. This week of action has been planned for quite a while. There's been a lot of work for lots of unions to be aligned. across the state, not just with similar industries, but a lot of SEIU has planned their contracts to be all around the same time, and now all of a sudden this week, there's janitors that are on strike, there's the nursing home workers that are on strike, and there's other companies that don't have union representation joining in and marching with those that are to try to fight for livable wages and dignified work, and it's really great. We win more when we fight together because there's power in numbers. If you get your entire company outside the building hollering, it's going to have more of an impact. Like with our bargaining committee, we tried to make it as big as possible, getting as more people in there, because when you're sitting in that room with the district and you have 25 employees staring at you, it's different than if there's 2. So I feel like the same goes for public action. What I learned from that is if it's not organized, it's not going to work. There's a lot more steps to it and a lot more planning into it than I realized until I went to that leadership school, and it helped me understand all this stuff a lot better. What's the next conversation? Okay, now we need to gauge our members and figure out how they're feeling. What are they mad about? What do they want to talk about? What do they want to fight for? And then you start to gauge them and say, okay, how is that conversation going? And do we feel like people are fed up enough that they might be willing to strike? So that as a membership, you can gauge where you're at and be ready for what's next.
Been incredibly privileged and humbled to participate in this week of action with all the other unions and community groups from Minnesota and across the nation. This week has taught me that our fights are the same across jobs, across school districts, and across the country. I want to thank everyone standing in solidarity as we have moved from action to action to build a better Minnesota for all of us workers.
When we all support each other in each other's causes or fights that they're doing, the solidarity that you get from it, which is what we always call it, the feeling of support from people that aren't just your direct coworkers, it makes you feel like you have more power. It also shows like you have more power too. And I think it motivated a lot of people in unions big and small to say, oh, you know what, they are underpaid. You know what, so am I. Let's fight.